I can't see much further than like here, so. Quiet. Okay. Let's get started on this rainy day so we can get finished. The sooner we get started, the sooner we get finished. So yesterday we took a lot of time and we talked about etiquette in emails specifically. So we're going to take that and expand it to online presence and online classrooms and just being online in general, okay? So professor's slides might work. There we go. There's actually a word for it. It's called netiquette. So it's your etiquette that you're going to see on the internet, okay? We've come up with some rules. We're going to go through what those are. We're going to talk a little bit about computer ethics, and we'll give you some tips and tricks and things to remember while you're online, okay? So rule number 1, remember, there is a human on the other side of the computer, okay? You're not just putting information out there just to put it out there and no one's going to read it, okay? So remember, you are talking to a real person with feelings, okay? Sometimes it's very easy to take that step back and not realize that there's a person on the other side. When you're sending an email or putting up a posting or discussion post, would you say that to the person's face? Okay. If you would not say it to their face, it's probably a great indication that you should not put it online or in an email. Okay. You want your online presence to be a reflection of who you are as a person. Last but not least, always ask permission before posting anything about anyone on the web, okay? This can get you in trouble. This can get organizations in trouble, okay? So just be careful what you post. For example, at a university where I live in Greensboro, during the mask mandate of last year, a student organization had a get-together. There were pictures all over Instagram and Twitter and all those lovely social media places with all of the students not wearing masks. The university fined the student organization and put them on probation for breaking school rules, okay? So be careful what you're posting, where you're posting it, and what kind of message it's conveying. I will say 9 times out of 10 nowadays, future employers will Google your name and see what they can find and see if what they find is on brand with their company. Okay? Whoops, wrong way. Definitely wrong way. Rule number 2, set those standards that you have in real life and carry that over to your online life, okay? You shouldn't have 2 different sets of standards and 2 different sets of rules, okay? You need to behave the same way you do in real life online, okay? Remember, you can get caught doing things online that you shouldn't be doing just as you can in person. And again, you're still talking to a real person with real feelings on the other end, even though you can't actually see them. Okay. Know where you are in cyberspace. When you're in a new part of the internet, take a look. Look around, see what's there. Okay, get a sense of what a discussion group is discussing and what their demeanor is and how casual it is before you put your initial post. Okay, you can kind of get a feeling as to what's going on based on reading other posts. Be the better person. If someone's being rude, don't make it worse. Don't egg them on, right? That's their battle to fight, not yours. Respect other people's time and bandwidth. And this goes along with what we said yesterday about emails, right? People have things to do, okay? You may not be the center of their world. So don't write them a 3-page paper for a quick email that can just require a few sentences. Keep your posts and emails to a minimum by stating your facts and what your issues are. Use the subject line of both posts and emails so that people can tell what is going to be in the contents before they even get there. If you want a response or an action, indicate it early on the email or even on the subject line. please reply. Question asked, okay? I've personally gotten sucked into, I get a 3-screen email. I get about to the 3rd sentence and I file it away, right? I'm like, oh, this has nothing to do with me. And I put it into a folder. A couple days later, you get a follow-up and say, hey, I didn't get your response because I didn't know that it was requested. I didn't know there was a question way down at the bottom. Double check also to see if the people included are those that should be included. Remember, we talked about reply and reply all yesterday. Make sure that your replies and your answers, your posts, they're going to the proper people. If there are people that are not necessary, take them off. Make yourself look good online. That's up to you. Okay, just like it is up to you to make yourself look good in person, it is up to you to make yourself look good online. Spell check, grammar check, especially for those of us that don't like spelling and grammar, right? Grammarly has the plugin. Always know what you are talking about and make sense saying it, okay? When in doubt, think that you're trying to explain this to someone who has no idea on the topic or the subject, okay? If you want to say top down, go for it, okay? Picture yourself having this conversation with, say, a small child and explain what you need to explain, okay? That is taken a lot better online than someone who talks way above the audience, right? You talk below your audience can say, yes, I understand that, let's talk about this, and you can bring it up. Be polite and pleasant, okay? No one likes anyone to be ugly and angry. Share your expert knowledge, okay? Ask questions online. The nice thing about the internet and being online is that you have got a sea of infinite amount of subject matter experts on every single thing that could ever be thought about. Sometimes things that you probably haven't thought about, okay? Share what you know online by answering some of these questions, okay? Post the answers to your questions online because someone may have the same question that you do, okay? So if you see a question that you've gotten answered, go ahead and post the answer that you received, okay? Become your expert and share the knowledge. Keep your drama and your flame wars under control, okay? So flaming is what people do when they express strongly held opinions without holding back any emotion, okay? The key, without holding back any emotion, okay? Etiquette does not forbid flaming, okay? There might be a time or place, Discord, Twitch, things like that. Online classroom, probably not the place, okay? It does forbid people who are flaming to hurt discussion groups by putting down people or the groups. If you're just doing it just because you can, that's not a good enough reason to do it, okay? So we want to keep that to a minimum. Respect others' privacy. So don't read other people's email without their permission. Going through other people's things could cost you your job. It can even send you to jail. Just like it's a federal law not to intervene in your postal mail, you are not to intervene in others' emails, okay? This includes walking by someone and reading what's on their screen, okay? So don't think it just has to do with hackers and intercepting messages. It can be just as easy as walking past someone and looking at their screen and reading it. Okay, do not abuse your power if you have any. Okay, don't take advantage of people because you know more, you understand more, you have more knowledge or power than them. Okay, great example. If you have system admin, you probably have access to every single person's email that's on campus. Does that mean you should read it? No. Okay, treat others as you want to be treated. Okay, this includes online. Sometimes being online, you have that distance between you and another person, right? Or you have that screen between you protecting you. Okay, that's not something to hide behind. Okay, it's not a tool, it's not a weapon. Be forgiving of other people's mistakes. okay? Do not point out mistakes to people online. If you do, there are polite ways to do it. There are good ways and bad ways. Remember, there was a point in time when you were the newbie on the block, right? And you didn't know some of the rules. You still need to have good manners, okay? But you just can't see that person face to face. So if you do see someone makes a mistake, you can say, hey, by the way, I saw that you did this. Next time you might want to try this instead, okay? There are polite and there are appropriate ways to point out people's mistakes. Email etiquette. Okay, we went through this yesterday, so most of this is not new. Check your emails as much as you can, preferably at least once a day. Delete unwanted messages. Keep messages in your inbox to a minimum. Should we have a contest? Who thinks they have the most emails in their inbox? How many you got? 1,800. I had someone in the first class with like 6,000. I'm like, dude, my OCD hurts for you. Mine's empty. Like, if there's something in my inbox, to me, it means I have to do something with it, right? So I try to clean. I've got 8,000 folders on the side, so I don't throw anything away. But if anything's in my inbox, to me, it means I need to do something with it. I can't believe you have 1,800. Delete them. Delete, delete, delete. You can also download and save emails off of the email servers for later use and reference, okay? Never, ever assume that emails can be read only by the recipient, okay? Just like a text message, right? Remember, there's always people lurking around online if you're in a public place, things like that. Okay, computer ethics, 10 commandments of computer ethics. Do not use computers to harm people. They're not a weapon, they're a tool. Thou shalt not interfere with other people's work. Thou shalt not snoop around other people's files. Okay? Thou shalt not use a computer to steal. Okay? That includes music, movies, things like that. Thou shalt not use a computer to bear false witness. Y'all know what that one means? Presenting yourself as something you're not. Catfish, things like that. Thou shalt not use or copy software. Okay, you are stealing from the software company. Thou shalt not use other people's computer resources. Thou shalt not appropriate other people's intellectual output. Okay, intellectual property is a fuzzy area, but in this case, we're looking towards that plagiarism side. Thou shalt think about the social consequences of anything you do online. Okay, this is program output. I'm saying anything. Okay, you see things that go viral for apparently no reason, right? And they end up having social outcomes because of it. Thou shalt use a computer in ways to show consideration and respect. Again, it's a tool. It's not a weapon. It's not something that should be used against you. So, some tips. Please, no yelling. Does everyone know that all caps means yelling? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Most readers tend to take it as shouting. They're going to have a hard time reading anything else you have in that email if all you've done is shout at them. If you are doing it because of vision issues, there's other ways around that. Okay. Use appropriate capitalization, and focusing on your tone when writing is going to give your virtual communication a boost. Remember that email we saw yesterday from that D student that looked like a D email? Yeah. Okay, sarcasm is going to backfire on you. Trust me. I speak fluent sarcasm. Okay. What is sarcasm though? It's a tone, right? It's a body language as well. It's not just words, right, Cupcake? Yeah. I feel you. Okay. What don't you have when you're writing something online? Tone, body language, facial expressions, right? All those things that make sarcasm sarcasm. They're not there. Okay. So it's going to lead to a lot of misguided arguments. It's going to be difficult to understand what the intent was behind it. Okay. What might seem as obvious as a joke can come across to someone else who may not know the person personally as off-putting or rude, okay? Just avoid it altogether if possible in an online classroom setting. Instead, try to be polite and direct in the way you communicate, okay? Especially when you're dealing with online. Don't abuse the chat box. I've actually had quite good reception of the chat box in this class. For those that are online, your chat box is not an instant messenger. It's not a YouTube chat box. It's not a Twitch chat box. You are in an online classroom, okay? Treat it like a learning tool. You should be using the chat box to ask questions and to contribute to the conversation at hand, okay? Don't use it to derail the conversation or to distract other students, okay? Rather than asking relevant questions or giving clear answers, students might use the chat box to ask questions irrelevant to this discussion or talk about an unrelated topic, okay? So you're basically having a side conversation during a lecture. That's not what the chat box is there for, okay? It's there for relevant questions and for class participation. Please, we've talked about this a lot, attempt to find your own answer. The internet is huge, okay? So if you're confused or stuck on something, your first instinct might be to raise your hand and say, I don't know, please help me. Please don't do that, okay? You've got to learn to be able to do the research and figure out where to find the answers. Does that make sense? For questions related to class structure, due dates, policies, anything to do with the class, where should you look? Where? Syllabus. That's the whole purpose of having one, okay? Syllabus or our My Carolina U, look there first, okay? Google, try and Google the question, see if you can find the answer. If you still have the question after a bit of effort, feel free to reach out. But I would also put in that email, hey, I tried looking in the syllabus. I could not find exactly what I was looking for. Can you help with this? Okay. Because of course, the first thing I'm going to say is go look in the syllabus, right? Grammar, okay? If grammar and spelling are generally not your strength, okay, don't get discouraged, okay? A lot of times when I was using a lot more discussion posts and when I was a student using discussion posts, typically I would write out all of my initial posts and my replies in Word first, okay? Word very easily has that Grammarly plugin. It's got spell check. It made me look really, really smart, okay? Once I'm happy with it in Word, I copy, paste it into the discussion post, okay? You don't have to just start in the discussion post. It prevents things like only typing half your discussion and hitting this post too early. Has anyone ever done that? Okay. Always make an effort to use proper punctuation, spelling, and grammar. Okay. It can be frustrating if you don't. Okay. I've gotten emails where it's about 3 lines and it looks like it's just all one sentence because there's no punctuation, no capitalization, no subject. It's just blurb. Okay. It's especially important for your papers and assignments, but remember, your discussion post on a discussion board is an assignment. Okay. So think of it in that way. Now, again, it is reasonable to be mindful of others. Okay. We're all learning. Nobody likes the grammar police. Okay. Does anyone ever have the your like fight in group chat? Yeah, my family group chat is like notorious for the your thing. Not to mention my daughter is a high school English teacher and words are hard for me. Okay. So the 2 and 2, like I kind of get it, but the your, I'm no. So you'll be trying to make like a nice point, like in a group chat. And then my dad comes back and says, you used the wrong your. Okay. Okay. Nobody likes that person. So we're going to try and keep that to a minimum. Set a respectful tone. Okay. The easiest way to get respect is to give it, right? Always err on the side of being more professional rather than less professional. Okay. An increasingly common netiquette faux pas is treating email correspondence with faculty and staff as an ongoing chat amongst friends. Okay. Especially if you don't have a relationship with that faculty or staff member. Okay. There are certain students that I have more of a chat relationship with. My student workers, I have more of a chat relationship with than I do with my students in my class. Okay. So think about where you're coming from and who it's going to. Okay. You don't want it to be a casual Friday every day. Okay. It's also good netiquette to use those respectful greetings and closures. Remember yesterday I said, when in doubt, use professor. If it's someone that is teaching you something. Okay. You don't want to be disrespectful by calling someone doctor who's not, or not calling them if they are, right? You've got Mr., but then us poor female people have got Ms., Mrs., Ms., right? Professor is respectful. Everyone that I know takes professor as a title. Professor is usually the way to go. Make sure you just be polite, please and thank you. Most of the time when you're emailing faculty or staff, you are asking for either their help or their help to answer a question, or you are asking for a favor, okay? A little politeness goes a long way, okay? Don't just expect it, be polite about it. Okay, submit your files the correct way, okay? Number one, if you're asked to upload an assignment, unless you've been given permission to print it out, just upload the assignment, okay? Make sure you're doing it in the proper format and that everybody has access to it, okay? I had a few students in the time management send me links to like the Google pages and things like that, but then I didn't have access to it. It said access denied, okay? That's just prolonging handing that in. Typically, professors will set out ground rules for how they want files titled. More than likely, it's your last name and then the assignment. So sometimes there's a class number in there. So for example, GT103 Gentry Assignment 1, something to that effect, okay? Make sure that you look for those things and adhere to them. So ignoring those types of instructions, that's actually bad netiquette. Okay. Receiving work that does not adhere to a file format and or a naming protocol means the student is not paying attention. Okay. You're asked at the very beginning to read through the syllabus. More than likely, it's in that syllabus. Okay. If you don't follow the instructions, you're taking on the risk that your instructor may not be able to open it or won't accept it. Okay. I know I'm quite laid back when it comes to assignments. I get that. I also know that there are professors on campus here that are the complete and utter opposite. Okay. Especially for like that time management. I was like, you want to put it in Excel? Put it in Excel. If you want to send a picture, send a picture. Okay. But there are professors that if it is not coming in the way they want it, they're not going to look at it. Save yourself, save your faculty headaches. Do that extra step of reading through the assignment. And if you don't know, ask. Okay. Read through everything you submit before you submit it. Take some time, especially when you're dealing with discussion posts. If your professor posts a question for a discussion post and you write out this really nice answer and then you go in and someone else has said the same answer you were going to say, don't go and post it again. It just looks like you haven't actually read the other responses, right? What you can do, you can now convert your discussion post into a reply to someone who had a similar point of view, okay? The whole point of discussion posts is adding to the conversation, okay? It's not to do it just to get it done. And a reply is not thanks. That was a good point of view, okay? Remember what I said at the very beginning of this class. I'm gonna trip on these doors. I am a little white girl that was raised in New Jersey, and that is all I know, okay? I want to hear your point of view. I want to hear where you're from, where you're coming from. What is forming your opinions, okay? Discussion posts are great ways to do that. Submitting an answer that is eerily similar to someone that's already there indicates that you have not paid attention to the conversation that's happened so far in that discussion post or online, okay? Remember, those things move very quickly, okay? Everybody has 24 hours to put a post in. Time moves fast. Make sure you review everything that's there and that you're adding new information to the discussion. Okay? Building upon the classmates' thoughts or attempting to add something new to the conversation, that is showing that you have been paying attention. Like I said, if someone has taken your initial post, see if there's a way to pull out a few sentences and make a paragraph and make it a reply. Okay? Again, be respectful about it. So say someone posted the fact that the sky is red and you said your post is about how the sky was blue. Okay? You say, I hear what you're saying, but from my point of view, the sky is blue because of X, Y, and Z. That's a great reply. Okay? You have started a whole discussion based on a single discussion post, right? Because now you're gonna have people being like, no, it's red, it's blue, right? You're engaging other students. It's going to show that you were reading rather than just posting a whole new discussion post on why you think it's blue, right? So you're checking off a lot of those check boxes of you paying attention. Think before you type. A lot of times you can make passing comments in class and people forget them because we all have the memory of like a goldfish. Maybe that's just me. Okay. What you share and post in an online environment, it is there. It is in black and white, and it becomes part of the record. Okay. I can go into Zoom and I can download all of the chats that happened during one of my Zoom sessions. Okay. It becomes part of the record. Whether or not privacy settings are in place, the internet has a tendency to house things forever. And what you say privately very easily and very quickly can become public. Okay. It's the same with social media. It's the same with online classrooms. It's the same with online communities. Okay. Be guarded when it comes to personal information and respectful. Again, anything you would not say face to face to someone, don't say it online. It's actually worse, right? Because now it's written down, it is in black and white. It's there for everyone to see. Okay. A good rule of thumb when I used to do talks about professionalism, I would tell my students, if you would not want your mother, your brother, your father, your sister, your teacher, your pastor to read it, do not put it anywhere online. Social media, discussion boards. Definitely don't put it online in the classroom, right? If you would be embarrassed for your grandma to read something you wrote, do not write it. Okay? You still need to be a human being first. Make sense? Okay. Be kind and professional. Okay. Online communities come with that anonymity, right? You know people's names, you may not know faces, you don't know what they look like. Sometimes that can lead to bad behavior. Okay. Make sure you're checking yourself. Okay. You can very easily treat someone poorly because there's a computer screen between you two. Okay. Or you in a group. Make a point to be kind and respectful in your comments, even if you disagree. There's a good way to disagree in a bad way, right? Bad way. Nope, you're wrong. Right? It's attacking. Not polite, right? But what you could say is, I don't understand your point of view. Can you elaborate? Right? Because we're all learning from each other. Or you can say, well, I thought this. What do you have thoughts about that? Okay, there's good and bad ways. At the core, all of the mistakes come down to forgetting that the online environment is still an environment. And here they use an online classroom is still a classroom. Okay. Yes, you may be in your jammies. You might be in bed. You may have a cup of coffee in your hand. Okay. But you're still in a classroom. You need to treat it as such. Good etiquette means conducting yourself in an online class with the same respect, politeness, and professionalism that you would if you were in a real classroom and in person. Okay. The whole point of a lot of this is to get you ready for beyond college. Okay. There's always going to be online communication. There's always going to be email. There's probably going to be other things coming down the road. Okay. It's just going to get more intense and more professional as you go on. Okay. Start now. Okay. Practice makes perfect. Okay. Make those mistakes now before you get out into the real world. Okay. Do some research before you get out into the real world. Okay. Again, like I said, it's easier to talk on a lower level and then bring that conversation up to the proper level than it is to start at a higher level and try to bring it down. Okay. If that makes any sense. Once you get out of here, though, you're going to be communicating with not only colleagues, but customers, managers, okay, people on different ranks and levels within an organization, people in different countries, okay? And each place is going to treat that politeness and respect in a different way, okay? So your best bet is to do your homework and figure out what it's supposed to look like before you get into that conversation, okay? I know my very first time traveling abroad for work purposes, I went to Thailand. And we did a lot of research ahead of time about the culture, the customs, what was appropriate, what was not, as far as even dress, right? How do you speak to people? What kind of greetings do you use? Because we didn't want to go in there being disrespectful to our customers. Okay. Sometimes it takes time to prepare for those types of things. Okay. If you don't know, we had customers that certain cultures actually have numbers that they steer away from. Did you guys know that? And one of our customers, the number that in their culture they stayed away from was the number 7. You know, like we do 13 right here, like hotels may not have a 13th floor. Well, in their country, it was 7. Well, we created a demonstration prototype for them, and we put the number 7 on it. Okay. It was not well received for no reason other than we didn't do our homework. Right? If you were doing a mock-up something here in the United States, you probably wouldn't put like, you know, seat number 17 or seat number 13. Okay. I don't even think airplanes have seat number rows 13 anymore. Okay. Takes a minute of your time, brings up your professionalism tremendously. Okay. And it's just us all being respectful of each other and where we come from. Does that make sense? Yeah? Are you guys awake? No? Okay, cool. Rock on. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to talk about Google and Google Drive and share and all that kind of good stuff for Google. Thursday is going to be like last Thursday. We're not taking attendance. I will have Zoom up and running for questions. Ms. Newsom will be here to help us with our life plan. Okay? But that's due next week, or it's due October 3rd. Don't forget your letter or your video is for this week. And y'all stay dry. I'd say have a nice day, but it is pouring outside.